About the $3 million. I've made a decision to divide it between my mom and me. This decision came shortly after my father's funeral. Jack, after carelessly perusing the inheritance documents without asking permission, remarked, "Kelly, don't be too greedy. Oh, finally I can quit my job. I have to thank that doddering old man." "Doddering old man? Are you talking about my dad?" I blurted out in shock. Disregarding my confusion, Jack and my mother-in-law enthusiastically began discussing plans to buy a new car and go shopping. Faced with this unexpected turn of events, I could no longer contain my emotions. I was on the brink of exploding. Burdened with household chores, constantly asked for money, and now insulted about my father, I didn't want to live with Jack and my mother-in-law anymore. Suppressing my anger, I forced a smile and replied, "Sure, feel free to use the money as you and your mother please. My name is Kelly Cohan, a 38-year-old housewife working alongside my husband. My parents were doctors who ran a well-reputed clinic in our hometown. Being an only child, I was showered with love. After graduating from the School of Pharmacy, I secured a job at a major pharmaceutical company. Though my parents were disappointed that I didn't become a doctor, they respected my decision. 10 years ago, my mother died unexpectedly in an accident, leaving both me and my father devastated. During those difficult times, Jack, then my boyfriend, supported me. We had met through a mutual friend, and 2 years after my mother's passing, Jack proposed. Jack was an ordinary salaryman in the food and beverage industry. Despite the fact that I earned significantly more, I believed we could overcome any hardship and be happy together. My father was overjoyed when I told him about our engagement. "I've heard how Jack supported you, Kelly. Thank you so much. Please continue to take care of her," my father said. Facing my father, Jack straightened up and promised, "I will make her happy." Standing beside Jack, I felt enveloped in happiness. The following week, we went to Jack's family home to announce our marriage. His mother, flashy makeup, long divorced from Jack's father, evaluated me rudely. "Marriage, huh? You're Jack's choice? Isn't she a little plain? And she's older, right? Wouldn't a younger, prettier girl be better for you?" Jack quickly retorted, "Mom, you know Pharmaceuticals, right? Kelly works there. Her father is a doctor and runs his own practice." I had expected Jack to praise my character, but instead he emphasized my financial background. Hearing this, his mother's expression changed instantly. "Oh Jack, you should have told me such important things earlier. That changes everything. I happily approve of the marriage. Nice to meet you, Kelly." Though Jack was overjoyed by her approval, I couldn't shake off a sense of unease. When we were about to register our marriage, my father, both a doctor and real estate investor, gifted me an apartment in a luxury New York City building. "Dad gave me this apartment as a wedding gift," I told Jack. "But it's our new home now. Let's live here happily together." Jack smiled, and thus our married life began. However, after marriage I quickly realized something unsettling. Jack, who had always lived with his parents, was almost incapable of doing household chores. He couldn't cook, didn't know how to use the washing machine, and had no interest in learning. He would leave garbage scattered around without bothering to throw it away. While I wanted us to share household responsibilities, Jack's careless attitude only deepened my dissatisfaction. In the first year, I handled everything at home despite exhaustion from work. By the second year, I reached my limit and decided to have a serious talk. To my dismay, Jack dismissed me with, "I'm tired from work too. You're much better at chores than I am. It's better if you do them." From then on, I continued to bear the brunt of our household responsibilities. The problems didn't stop there. Jack's mother also had peculiar demands. For Mother's Day, I sent her a quality scarf and carnations. To my surprise, she called me displeased. "This scarf isn't from a famous brand. How absurd to send such a no-name item." I tried explaining its quality, but she refused to listen. When I told Jack, he shrugged. "Just do as she says." From then on, we gave her cash exactly as she demanded. By our 5th year, she began visiting frequently, always finding excuses to ask for money. Jack would always comply, smiling as he handed her cash, even though his income was modest and our daily life was barely manageable. Years passed, and by our 8th year of marriage, I was still juggling chores, finances, and constant requests from my mother-in-law. Then my father called me unexpectedly. During our meeting, he revealed something devastating. He was suffering from terminal cancer and treatment was no longer possible. Tears streamed down my face as he stroked my head gently, like he had when I was a child. "Kelly, this is fate. Let's accept it quietly," he said. I began spending my days working, managing the household and visiting my father at the hospital. Jack, however, showed little support. His only words were, "Well, it's tough with your father's sudden condition. Please do your best." He visited my father just once. One day as my father lay in bed, he suddenly asked, "Kelly, how is your marriage with Jack going?" Caught off guard, I thought about Jack's indifference and his mother's constant demands. I couldn't answer. Seeing my hesitation, my father said gently, "You don't have to endure. Think about your happiness. Don't worry, you won't have hardships after I'm gone." 3 months later, my father passed away quietly. The day after the funeral, I received a call from a lawyer about my father's inheritance. His estate after taxes amounted to over $3 million. Overwhelmed with gratitude and shock, I began the inheritance process. Later, exhausted, I left the documents on the desk and dozed off on the sofa. When I awoke, I heard cheerful voices, Jack and his mother. Jack approached me with a beaming smile. "Yes, Kelly, well done." "Huh? Why, what?" I asked, confused. That's when I noticed the inheritance papers in Jack's hands. "Wait. Don't just read those without asking," I cried, furious. My mother-in-law, however, clapped her hands in delight. "Wow. An inheritance of $3 million? Isn't that amazing? Now we can live comfortably for the rest of our lives." Confused and heartbroken, I couldn't understand why. My mother-in-law suddenly chimed in and Jack turned serious. "By the way, about this $3 million, I've decided it will be split between me and my mom," he declared. It was right after my father's funeral. Jack, having looked at the inheritance documents I was supposed to receive, without my permission, smirked and said, "Kelly, don't be too greedy. Oh, now I can finally quit my job. I have to thank that doddering old man." "Doddering old man? Are you talking about my dad?" I blurted out in shock. "Well, anyway," Jack continued, "let's proceed with the inheritance process and get the money into our joint account as soon as possible." Ignoring my confusion, Jack and my mother-in-law excitedly discussed buying a new car and going shopping. At that moment, I couldn't hold back my emotions any longer. Burdened with household chores, constantly asked for money, and now hearing insults about my father, I was on the verge of exploding. So I forced a smile. "Sure. Use the money however you and your mother wish," I replied. My mother-in-law, satisfied, cheerfully added, "That's the spirit, Kelly. Now make sure you work hard and earn more money. I don't want our savings to decrease, so work hard." I nodded silently, pretending to listen to her selfish words. Afterward, Jack and my mother-in-law began living as if they had lost their minds. They spent money lavishly. Jack quickly quit his job and his mother practically moved in, staying at our house constantly. Every morning they left together, returning with bags from luxury brands. The 3-star restaurant we went to today wasn't that great. Yes, it was a bit underwhelming, for us sophisticated people. They spoke as if they were wealthy celebrities, all while dumping every bit of housework on me, treating me like a maid. Jack seemed to think my father's inheritance would arrive instantly. He withdrew money from our joint account carelessly, and my $100,000 in savings dwindled rapidly. When I protested, Jack laughed it off. "What are you talking about? Isn't $3 million coming soon? This kind of spending is no big deal." I warned him, but he ignored me. A month later, Jack and my mother-in-law suddenly left for a trip to Hawaii, without inviting me. Left alone at home, I decided to take action. About a week later, I heard a loud knock at the door. Checking the intercom monitor, I saw Jack and his mother in aloha shirts standing outside. "What do you want?" I asked coldly. Jack shouted angrily. "What are you even talking about? Why won't the door open?" I calmly replied through the intercom. "Well, I changed the locks. So of course it won't open." "What? Why? Give us the keys. Let's talk calmly at the nearby cafe," I suggested. "Go ahead, I'll join you shortly." Realizing it was futile to argue at the door, they left. Once they were gone, I headed to the cafe. When I arrived, Jack and his mother were waiting, furious. "Hey, what's this about? Did you change the locks? Hand over the new keys right now," Jack demanded. "There's no need," I replied calmly. You both need to leave that house. Then I presented a piece of paper. A divorce petition I had already filled out. Divorce? You're serious? Jack shouted. His mother looked equally shocked. Kelly, why has it come to this? She asked in disbelief. I answered quietly but firmly. By the way, with all your daily lavish spending, are you sure your finances are okay? Money? Of course it's fine. Jack spat back angrily. Your father's inheritance is coming soon. There should still be over $50,000 in our joint account. Look, I'll show you. He pulled out his phone, opened the banking app and froze. What's this? Why is the money gone? It was there just the other day. His mother quickly checked her own phone, her face twisting in confusion. It's gone because I moved it, I revealed. That $50,000 was marital property. Since I'm divorcing you, I transferred it to my account as part of the division. What? No way. Jack's face turned red with rage, then suddenly he smirked. Fine, I'll divorce you. But transfer the $3 million inheritance right away. Property acquired during marriage is split half and half, right? You're mistaken, I replied coldly. Inheritance from a parent is considered separate property. It doesn't get divided in a divorce. Silence fell. Jack and his mother's faces drained of color. They had truly believed they were entitled to my father's money. No. That can't be true, his mother shrieked. Check for yourself, I said mockingly. Jack frantically searched on his phone. His face darkened as he read aloud. Property inherited by one spouse from a parent is considered separate property. Therefore, it is not subject to division. What? Seriously? His mother's voice trembled in shock. Then Jack turned to me, pleading desperately. Kelly, please don't divorce me. I have no savings, no job. How am I supposed to live? I looked him straight in the eyes. Take responsibility for your actions. I'll never forget how you treated me or my father. I'm divorcing you. I'll go to court if I have to. Intimidated by a side of me they had never seen, Jack and his mother shrank back, whimpering. I stood up and walked out of the cafe, leaving them in despair. Later, Jack and I completed the divorce without issue. The $50,000 I had taken was legally recognized as part of the property division. Eventually, I got them out of my house. Having already squandered the money, Jack was penniless. Drowning in credit card debt from their trip and reckless spending, both he and his mother were forced to move into a rundown apartment, working tirelessly to pay off loans. Their former lavish lifestyle had turned into misery. As for me, I sold the condo I had shared with Jack and moved into my late father's apartment. With his inheritance, I now live comfortably and securely. Grateful to my father, I vowed to cherish my new life, protect my happiness and spend my days in peace.